Buenos días, bienvenidos a la clase de español. Y hoy vamos a estar hablando de los verbos AR, ER, IR. That is an R. Pero ya, I will speak in English now. But we have learned the present tense of the AR verb. If you remember, let's do some review here. Let's get rid of this lamp so we have less reflection. Maybe we need to get rid of that light too, but we'll stick with it. Okay, so we have AR verbs, and we take the verb, for instance, hablar. If you remember, that means to speak. And we're going to conjugate, take off the AR, and we're going to put yo. Who remembers? Do. Who remembers? El, Asia, usted, who remembers? Nosotros, vosotros, ellos, and ustedes. Ellos and ellas. No? Okay, do you remember what the endings were? If you do, write them down for yourself. If you don't, they are O, as, a, amos, ice, on. So we take our verb hablar, we choose our person, we write yo hablo inglés, for example, right? There's our sentence, our person, our verb, our object. And that's how we put together our sentences. So today we're going to move on to ER and IR verbs. And so if you came to class last night, you would have received a sheet of paper with all of the information on there that you will need. And just to remind you, we have now returned back to our Wednesday schedule at our locale at 219 East Main Street in Mishicot, 6 p.m. And we go from 6 to 7:30 p.m. for our classes. So if you want to join us, please do. March 23rd will be our next meal and language class combination. So you'll have a class and then we'll have a meal together. Everyone brings a dish to pass. So here we go. We have our AR. Okay, we talked about that. We take the verb practicar, for example, to means to practice. Okay, so we have yo, tu, the o, as, a, amos, ais, an endings, okay? So I practice becomes yo practico. You practice, tú practicas. You, formal, he, she practices, practica, excuse me. We practice, practicamos. You all from Tennessee practice, practicáis. They and you all formal, practican. And you can hear that difference in emphasis of syllable. Practico, practicas, practica, practican. Those four all come together in the same accent. But here, practicamos, practicáis. You hear how they go up towards the end instead of coming down. So here we have a lot of verbs that we have either heard or we've gone over in class, and you might recognize a lot of them. And so if you would like one of these sheets, you can request one, or you can attend class and get one. But now we're going to look at the ER verbs, okay? So if a verb ends with an ER, such as comer, I'm not sure if you remember what comer means, but if we conjugate it, it means to eat in the infinitive form. So our endings are O, like the AR, but instead of being as, it's ace. A, amos, ace, N. So if we're going to conjugate comer, it's going to be to eat. I eat becomes yo como. There's your ending. Como. Tú comes. There's your ending. He, she, you, formal it, eats, come. It's not come, it's come. We eat. Nosotros comemos. You all eat. Vosotros coméis. They, you all, formal, comen. Ellos, ellas, ustedes comen. And here are some verbs that are in the ER ending. So let's take one of those, okay? So we're going to erase this quickly. And we're going to try this out. All right, so let's stick with comer. And how can we say he? Our ending is él come. And one of the first words we learned was arroz. Él come arroz. Oh, see that? He eats rice. Él come arroz. How about another one? They, what's going to be our ending? Ellos comen. Another one that we've learned is pollo. They eat chicken. Okay, so we can take any one of our verbs that's on this list here of ER. And we can conjugate them. O, ace, a, amos, ace, N. Now you'll see some of them are italicized. In italics, underlined. That means they would be irregular verbs in their conjugation. And so we're not focusing on them. So when you practice this, unless you feel super confident in diving in at the deep end with the irregular verbs, stick to one of these that you would use, okay? You would use barrer. You might use coser. You might use depender. Pick ones that you would use. Beber for sure. Comer for sure. And then conjugate them into a sentence. All right, now we go on to the IR verbs. Okay, so we have an IR verb ending. We're going to use the verb escribir, which conjugated means to write. So I put O, as we've had for ER and we've had for AR. But just as we had as and ace, it's not true for the IR verbs. It's still ace like the ER. El, ella, usted is the same as ER endings, okay? So ER and IR are the same in the singular voice, but in the plural voice, now we see escribimos. Escribís, with the accent on that I. Escriben. So the I is reflected in the we and the y'all from Tennessee form. Otherwise, the they and ustedes, the yo, tú, el, ella, usted is the exact same as the ER endings. So we take the verb escribir, to write. I write. Yo escribo. Tú escribes. Él, ella, usted escribe. We write. Nosotros escribimos. You all from Tennessee, escribís. They, you all formal, escriben. So here again, we're going to try a sentence. All right. So we put yo, I escribo la carta, the letter. That would be a letter that you write to your grandma. If it's the letter, like an alphabet, yo escribo la letra. Okay, so letter, carta, is what you send in the mail. Letra is one of these guys. Letra. We can put nosotros. We what? There's our I. Escribimos la carta, la letra. Okay, so we take our person, we conjugate our verb, we add our object. So I put together this little sheet here. All right. And this is something that you can easily do. We did it last night in class too. We had 4 columns. So here I have my person, I have my verb, and I have my object. And I put it in English and Spanish. Yo hablo inglés. I speak English. Here's another one. The person is you or tú. The verb is comer, eat, comes. The object, chicken, pollo. Tú comes pollo. So then I take these 3 columns and I write out my sentence in both Spanish and English. Yo hablo inglés. I speak English. Here, I take my 3 columns. You eat chicken. Tú comes pollo. And as we did it last night, if this helps you, oops, here. Sorry about this. I should be able to do this with one hand, right? Okay, we take 4 columns here, 4 little boxes. So we're going to divide this in half and in half. So here I'm going to write my infinitive. Here I'm going to write my person. Here I'm going to write my conjugated verb. And here I'm going to put my object. And this will help you. So if we put, let's see, what's sufrir? Okay, this one's not on the list. Sufrir is my infinitive. It means to suffer. Tú is my person. It's an IR verb. So we're going to conjugate it according to the IR conjugation. Tú sufres. Tú sufres today. Tú sufres hoy. Well, I've gone past my time, and so I hope that gives you something to work on. Look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Have a great day.